In the continuing narrative of this memorable episode of One Day at a Time, the story deepens its exploration of teenage rebellion, as it manifests not through the expected channels of the 1970s, counterculture, drugs, rock music, or political activism, but through an intense, all-consuming religious awakening. Julie Romano's transformation into a devout member of the Lambs of God serves as a fascinating case study in how youthful idealism can challenge family structures in unexpected ways. What begins as a seemingly positive change, greater politeness, helpfulness around the house and a serene demeanor quickly reveals itself as a profound source of tension, highlighting the clash between a mother's hard-won pragmatism and a daughter's fervent search for spiritual certainty. The script excels in portraying Julie's zealous transformation through a series of increasingly uncomfortable domestic scenes. After her friends, Jeff and Celia depart, the conversation between Anne and Julie reveals the mechanics of her conversion. Julie explains that Celia invited her to a meeting where she discovered a sense of purpose that had been missing from her life. This revelation is delivered with genuine conviction. Yet it carries an undercurrent of accusation toward her mother for not understanding the dialogue here captures the emotional complexity of the mother-daughter relationship with remarkable authenticity. Julie's fear that her mother would dismiss this as just another "there goes Julie again" moment speaks volumes about the insecurity beneath her newfound faith, while Anne's hurt at being excluded from this pivotal experience underscores the isolation many single parents feel when their children turn elsewhere for guidance. As the episode progresses, the clash intensifies through everyday interactions that are now infused with religious language. Julie's constant quoting of scripture becomes both a comedic device and a dramatic barrier. When Anne tries to discuss practical matters such as schoolwork and future planning, Julie counters with biblical passages about not worrying for tomorrow, prompting Anne's frustrated exclamation, "God damn it, Julie, will you stop quoting the Bible?" This outburst is perfectly timed, revealing the strain beneath Anne's attempts at composure. The writers handle this moment with sensitivity, allowing the audience to sympathize with both characters. Julie is not portrayed as a caricature of fanaticism but as a sincere young woman grappling with big questions, while Anne embodies the realistic anxieties of a parent who has already navigated divorce and is now facing ideological rebellion within her own home. Barbara's role as the sharp-witted younger sister provides essential counterbalance and comic relief. Her frustration at living in what she calls a shrine and having to remove posters of Peter Frampton and fight to save Elton John illustrates the collateral damage of Julie's transformation on family dynamics. The sibling rivalry, once expressed through typical teenage arguments, now takes on a spiritual dimension, with Barbara feeling alienated by her sister's piety. This generational and intra-family conflict mirrors broader 1970s societal shifts, where young people influenced by the Jesus movement sought meaning outside traditional institutions. The episode gently satirizes this phenomenon without dismissing the genuine spiritual hunger driving it, presenting Julie's commitment as both admirable in its idealism and disruptive in its absolutism. One of the most poignant sequences involves Anne's private conversation with neighbor Ginny. Here, the script allows space for Anne's vulnerability to surface. She admits to feeling embarrassed by Julie's behavior, and even ashamed of that embarrassment. This layered emotional honesty is one of the hallmarks of One Day at a Time's writing. Anne's confession that she feels jealous because Julie did not come to her first with this lack in her life reveals the deep wounds of single motherhood, finances and personal healing. Ginny's supportive presence, offering humorous observations about her own experiences with various self-help trends, grounds the scene in relatable friendship while contrasting the secular pragmatism of the older generation with the spiritual fervor of the younger one. The episode further develops the theme of rebellion through righteousness during family meals and daily routines. The breakfast scene, where Julie insists on saying grace and Schneider contributes his father's irreverent rub-a-dub-dub "thank God for the grub," showcases the show's brilliant ability to blend comedy with character development. Schneider's reluctant participation and subsequent biblical banter highlight the awkwardness that overt religiosity can introduce into previously secular spaces. Anne's mixed feelings, appreciation for Julie's improved behavior contrasted with discomfort at the intensity, create a rich emotional texture that sustains viewer engagement across the extended runtime. Julie's decision-making process regarding devoting her life to God forms another critical layer of conflict. When Anne offers guidance, Julie firmly asserts that this is a decision she must make alone with divine guidance, subtly questioning her mother's spiritual authority due to her divorce and lapsed church attendance. This exchange cuts to the heart of generational and cultural divides in the 1970s, a time when traditional religious observance was declining among many adults while experiencing a revival among youth. The script handles this confrontation with nuance, allowing Anne to defend her own faith journey while respecting her daughter's sincerity. The humor peaks when Julie accuses her mother of being smug, humorless, intolerant, and pompous, spelling out unchristian Christian, a moment that is both funny and painfully honest in its depiction of how ideology can strain even the closest relationships. Throughout these developments, the episode maintains a warm appreciation for the complexity of its characters. Julie's passion is never mocked outright. Instead, it is presented as a natural, if extreme response to the uncertainties of adolescence in a rapidly changing America. Anne's struggles as a single mother working as a cocktail waitress while raising two teenage daughters resonate deeply, reflecting the real-life challenges faced by millions of women in the post-feminist awakening era. The writing appreciates the delicate balance between granting children autonomy and providing necessary guidance, a theme that remains timeless even as cultural specifics evolve. Scene by scene, the dialogue sparkles with naturalistic rhythms and period-appropriate references, from bumper stickers reading "Honk if you love Jesus" to casual mentions of Bible study groups. The performances implied by the script would have required exceptional range, conveying exasperation, love, confusion, and resilience in rapid succession. Bonnie Franklin's Anne Romano continues to shine as a beacon of relatable strength, while Mackenzie Phillips brings earnest intensity to Julie that makes her transformation both believable and compelling. As this section of the episode builds toward the introduction of Julie's ambitious Christian project, the foundation has been masterfully laid. The rebellion through righteousness has created ripples throughout the household, testing bonds, exposing insecurities, and generating both laughter and genuine pathos. The clash with family serves not merely as conflict for its own sake but as a mirror reflecting larger societal conversations about faith, freedom, responsibility, and the evolving definition of family in 1970s America. The script's ability to balance these weighty themes with accessible humor ensures that the audience remains invested in the characters' journeys, eagerly anticipating how this zealous transformation will unfold in the face of real-world challenges. The careful pacing allows each interaction to breathe, revealing new facets of personality and relationship. Barbara's sarcastic asides, Schneider's well-intentioned but clumsy interventions, and Anne's quiet moments of reflection all contribute to a rich ensemble dynamic that elevates the episode beyond simple sitcom fare. In celebrating this classic television craftsmanship, one cannot help but admire how One Day at a Time used the Romano family's everyday struggles to comment on broader cultural currents while never losing sight of the heartfelt connections that ultimately bind them together.